Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. In this video, I'm going to show you an example of a database that I created using or creating my Smelly Telly codes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in some videos on back, I talked about an invention idea that I have called the Smelly Telly, or at least that's the working title that I'm, thinking about using. Okay. Um, when I came up with a concept, and I even came up with some mock forms dealing with different aspects of creating the code and all that type of thing. At that time, I did not know how to create a database and or how to submit the information to a database, but I still created, I took what little bit of knowledge I did have of HTML and created a mock form to create the code with. However, since that time, I have learned a little bit more about coding. I'm still learning. I've got a long way to go, but I'm trying. So right now, I'm learning about PHP and all that. Uh, so here is, since now I'm able to create a database. Um, to create the database, of course, you have to create your code and your files and all that stuff. Um, okay, for instance, right here, I created this folder in my local host area called Sent Code Programs. Okay, from there, I created some files that with code in them in order to, make this happen. Okay. All right. One of those codes created this form right here. Okay. So now that I have this form, okay, I've also went in. Let me go to, whoops, let me get rid of one of these. Get rid of that. I've also created the database for these codes. And as you can see, I've already gotten started creating some of my, fictitious codes that, to give an idea as to how they could be created, what I refer to as global codes that all companies can use for certain scents. Because the whole concept behind my Smelly Telly device is that you will be able to purchase this device, okay? And it's basically like an air freshener, a scent creator, whatever you want to call it. Okay, you buy the device, and it can come with cartridges or sheets or whatever, okay? You put these within the device, okay? All right, the device is already, the sheets or the cartridges have already been programmed and include certain scents that the manufacturer has created, okay? And I'm going to refer to the sheets and the cartridges, whatever's on them as cells, like the scent, the areas where you have the scent cells, okay? Each scent cell has a code on it, and each sheet or cartridge will have like either a chip or something like that that will know where all these scents are located within it, okay? All right, so the goal is when you're watching, once you hook this device up to a network, whether it be through your TV, through your internet, through cable companies, antenna, whatever, however it can be done, okay? You link this device up, okay? And if all the networks, or if a handful of them, also if companies, social media companies such as Facebook or Google, YouTube, whatever, if they decide to use this system, All they have to do is set things up to where, let's just take YouTube for instance. When you upload a video, all right, you can be, as you're loading up the video, you can add these sync codes to your video. Like if you know at what point you're going to be holding an orange, or you're going to say dog, or see a dog, or show a dog, or, you know, have chocolate or whatever, whether it be product placement or just something that just happens, whether it be accidental or whatever. Okay, so if you know this is going to be in your video, all you have to do is fill out this form and kind of give a general idea as to what time, or just what time you want these sync codes to go off. You can punch that information within your form, okay, and then it will be included with your video once your video is uploaded, okay. And then once the person at home clicks your video, if they've got their Smelly Telly device linked up, then at certain time frames of your video, wherever you've set the codes to go off, it will send that code to your device, or the person at home's device, and it will shoot out that smell. Whether it be something that sprays through the sheets, or something that squirts out the little cells, like a little perfume bottles, teeny tiny, not microscopic, but little bitty, teeny tiny scent bottles that can be, the top can pump. The scent can shoot out through the top of the bottle. That can happen. Whatever the situation may be, whether it be wax, water, that goes through something that will, shoot out the smell. However, the companies or the manufacturers out there want to create the device, it can do that. And like if you've got that particular cell on your sheet, let's just say someone has a certain chocolate code in their video, and it sends it to your device, and you have that chocolate code on one of your sheets, then it will go off and it will send out that smell from your device, and you will be able to smell it at home. So it's basically what I refer to as either smell-o-vision or smell-o-vision, however, whatever people want to say. So it's like a way of bringing it here. And I feel like, I'm getting closer to creating this concept as I learn more and more. But anyway, so there has to be a way to create the codes. Like if these are going to be universal, global codes that all the companies and the, scent manufacturers are going to be using to create, these smells, then they're going to need a database, and they're going to need, a way, to generate the code. Okay. So for me, I've created a system that, I feel like is a pretty good way to do it. But they can do it however they want to. This is just an example. This is just something that, for me to practice with, and to get, like I said, get closer to creating it. Okay. So the way that I would do it is I would create this program called a Global Scent Code Creator. And like I said, I would have a database. Okay. First of all, you got to think about what it is that you have. What type of scent are you trying to create? Okay. And as you can see, I've already put in these examples already into my database. But let's just say, for instance, you want to grass. Let's just say, you want to create a smell for grass. And we all know that, especially before it rains, you'll smell that, that interesting smell that is, like a strong grass smell or whatever. Or when someone just mows a yard, you can smell it. Okay. If you want to send that smell out to, people, thousands of people out there, then here's the way that the companies can create the code. Okay, so we want grass. So, and I'm not talking about the illegal kind of grass, just so you know, this is regular grass. Okay, all right, so we want grass. Okay, all right. And I've also, to create the code, which this right here, the actual name of what you want is not going to be included in the code. That's just so that whoever's creating this and storing this information knows what the smell is being created from, or the code is being created from. Okay, so let's create an initial for grass, and we'll just call it GRA. Okay. All right. So that's going to be the initial for it. And the aspect type. In other words, is this going to, when I say aspect type, I mean, like, if it's all zeros, then that means it's in its raw form. Like, it's just straight up raw whatever. So naturally, when it comes to grass, you're going to want the raw form. But like, if there's something else added, say like milk or spices of some kind or whatever, I think there should be a category created in regards to that. For some, it might be 200. For others, it might be 300. It might be 330. It might be, whatever. However these companies want to do it when it comes to, adding spices or flavors or whatever to whatever it is that they're wanting to, to the scent that they're wanting to create. So since this is grass, as I have said, it's going to be in its raw form. So I'm going to put 30, oops, excuse me, goodness, 3 zeros for this. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do that. Okay, so the next question you've got to ask yourself is this going to be a generic or a brand named code? Naturally, since it's just grass, then we're just going to call it a generic. So, going to pick generic. Okay. All right. Then you're going to get the final result product initials. Okay. What I mean by that is, like, if you're dealing with chocolate, okay, is the final outcome going to be a candy bar? So like, if it's chicken or beef or whatever, is it going to be a cooked animal? What's the final outcome going to be? And for grass, it would just be a plant. I'm just going to say plant for that. That way, okay, this is just going to be a straight up plant. Okay, vegetation. Okay. All right, and then you create like a stock number for this. Since it's the very beginning, it's just plain straight up grass. So the stock number is probably going to be like one of the lowest numbers besides zeros. So we're just going to go with this number right here that's got a 1 at the very end of it. I created like 6 zeros and a 1. Okay. All right, so then what I do is I look here, starting with the GRA, and I type in this code. Okay, so I'm going to say GRA, and then 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay, then GEN for generic. Okay, and then plant for that part of it. And then, like I said, 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then a 1. Okay. So that's going to be the code right here. That's going to be the final output of my code. Okay. And then all I got to do is click create code. Okay. Then I go over here to my database right here, and I just click refresh. Okay, then as you can see right here, this is my new code that's been created for the database. And it is GRA with your 3 zeros, and then your generic, plant, and then another series of zeros, and then a 1. Okay. It's as simple as that. Okay. So, if some companies are out there listening and you like my idea and you kind of want to use this, um, you know, I would really appreciate it, especially if there's a way that I could be involved in the process and get paid for it. Yeah. you know, so, I just really I want to make this happen because I really believe in it because the more I learn, the more I see how doable this really is. But like I said, I personally still have a long way to go as far as learning all this stuff. I still don't know uh, about electronics, especially not enough to actually create a working physical prototype, but I just do what I can with whatever knowledge that I have to get the concept across, hopefully to someone else who can do this, who will value my input and hopefully compensate me for that and, work with me, whether it be remotely or whatever, and create this. I think that would be awesome. I would love it, especially if some company like Google or something like that, because I know Google is also in the market of creating products and, devices and all that. If someone from Google is listening, please contact me. I would really appreciate it. I really think this can be created, and I think it would be a fun thing, and I think it would be very popular. The right kind of people get behind it and create all this, and like these codes right here, they can be sent out to all the the TV networks and the social media folks out there, and they can be incorporated and used um, to create things. And while I'm saying this, and while it's on my mind, here's another thing to think about. Okay, naturally, you've got your generic codes, and you've got your name brand codes. Say, like if Hershey's chocolate or something like that wanted to create, their own unique code for a product or whatever, they can they can hook up with YouTube and Facebook or whatever, and certain social media people, if you've got so many followers and whatever, kind of like the same guidelines that YouTube goes by in order to monetize people's um, channels and what have you. These companies, these product companies, can use that same system and allow their codes to be added on the videos and pay these people. Okay, in other words, if you know the code, if you know a product company's code and you just want to use it and not be compensated, but you just want to use it because you like the idea of you having that in your video and someone's device going off, with the Hershey smell or whatever, then fine. But if they can set it up on a form to where if you've been approved and all that, then there can be like a little check mark or whatever, and if you use that code within your video, kind of like product placement, except to be a scent placement, then you can be compensated for that by Hershey's or by some other company or whatever, because you've been given permission for it, you've been approved, and you're doing them a favor. Therefore, you know there's money to be made, is basically what I'm saying. So I think this would be a really good thing. I think this would work great with TV networks. It would be an extra little source of income coming in for everybody, because it's another way, a new way to reach your customers out there, to give them a closer sample of what the product that you want to promote. Whether you've come out with a new product or you just really want to, sell those Hershey's Kisses or something, then you can do that using this system. I just think it would be so awesome. And you make money as a company, and then when you make money, you pay money to the people that helped you promote this. So that's how I look at it. It makes things a little more tempting for people to go out and purchase things, but also it's just cool to have this device go off. To be watching something and all of a sudden your little device, sends out a smell. I just think, I don't know, I just love the idea of it. To know that, okay, this whole smelly vision, or whatever, is here. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.